therapy. So I avoid that. I'm in the same situation as Tori, and I read this news article, and it was apparently that companies are no longer requiring people to do drug tests as a part of their hiring process because there aren't enough workers. So I want to congratulate drugs on winning the war on drugs! Yeah! We did it. You can probably tell which side of the war on drugs I was on. Yeah, it looked like I saw wheat to middle schools out the back of a Subaru. I'm a big fan of the marijuana, Mary Jane, the devil's cabbage, the jazz cabbage. But I am a Russian who lives in Wisconsin, so my primary vice is I have 2 drinking problems. I love alcohol. It's a huge problem. Yeah. So I have 3 half-nephews, 1.5 nephews for my math nerds. My nephews are great, and I was visiting them one weekend in San Francisco, and my sister's a psychiatrist, and she wanted to make sure her boys knew how to identify when people are high and what they're high on, because San Francisco's wild. So I'm visiting the nephews, they're outside playing handball or something, and this lady comes by, and she's like, hey, looks like you boys are having fun. And all at the same moment, my nephews were like, that's ketamine. And they were right. I was on ketamine. Yeah, we do all the drugs in Wisconsin. They're all illegal, so I do them all. Yeah, no, my nephews are smart boys. They're very perspicacious. But sometimes they're not so bright. So one time I heard this conversation where they're chatting about something, and the older one mentions a brothel. And the younger one looks at me and goes, Aunt Sasha, what's a brothel? I was like, fuck, do I have to be the one to break this to, like an 8-year-old? And then his brother steps in, he's like, that's where you go to get broth! And I was like, ooh, that's taken care of. And then the younger one pipes up again, he's like, Aunt Sasha, is that true? And I was like, yes. A brothel is where you go to get broth, and if you want to pay for sex, you go to a soup kitchen. So now we know a little bit about me. I'm going to find some stuff about you. By way of sad woos, who here has had heard their parents have sex? I heard a bunch of woos and oh yeah! Me too, man, me too. I've also heard your parents have sex. Growing up, I heard my parents fuck, which means I knew what it sounded like when my dad came. Not information I wanted in my mind, but that's not even the worst part, you guys. The worst part is it's the same sound he made in a whole bunch of other situations. It's like using the bathroom, getting up out of a chair, eating spicy food. You know how us whites are? Realized that my dad was a grunter. That or he was just coming all the time. Morning, man. And I also have a mom. She's the one with the ridiculous pussy game. Hey-yo! She's great. A very loving, caring mom. But she does this classic mom thing where I feel like she forgets how old I am and checks up on me about really basic stuff. Here's an example. Every single winter, I get a text message from her where she's like, hey, I hope you're wearing a coat, because it's cold outside. I'm like, yeah, Mom, I'm 34. I know about coats. But I know she reaches out because she cares. She wants to feel needed. So, for my mom's sake, on a random day in January, I sent her a text message. And I'm like, Mom, I'm naked outside and it's cold. What do I do? What do I do? And she's like, oh, yeah, it's my time to shine. You got to put on a coat, you frosted-ass bitch. So you people, you can probably tell by my haircut that I am a cat person. You are what you eat. Some of you are wondering, does she mean she eats cats? Cat people or just pussy? I see this too. It's like Velvet Shaggy made a lesbian. I have a surprise for everyone here. I like penis. Surprise even to God himself. It's like I made this one to mushrooms and I was like, I'm gonna suck dick. Fuck you, God. I'm a big fan of the fellatio. that joke, well, it must be nice to have dental insurance. Fancy. You know, Rockefellers were here. 1%. Very nice. Now, given that I am a big fan of the fellatio, I'm actually on my second husband. Yeah, that's how much I like penis. I had a 4-husband plan. My second husband, unfortunately, is kind of derailed, and I think this is the second and final husband. He's fantastic. So I'll tell you a little story about him. I actually proposed to him on stage at a comedy show. Yeah, thank you. That's sweet. It's, a little hallmark, I get it. Maybe a little bit cringe. But I also feel like it's the ultimate comedian destroys heckler moment, Right? So it's like a little warning to everybody here. If you heckle me, I'll fucking marry you. Not the wedding bells ring. But when I first started dating my husband, he wasn't what I was used to. I usually attract these kind of twinks who want me to fuck them in the ass. My strap-on's name is Jeff. Your vibe attracts your tribe, It's fun. After Jeff Goldblum. So my husband, though, not the strap-on interested type. He's sort of this big Game of Thrones looking motherfucker, 6'3", red hair, jaw out to here. Looks like he could fuck a truck. I'm the truck, beep beep, That's the autism talking. Anyways, but when we first started hooking up, he's not what I'm used to. I'm used to these twinks, these hairless twinks shrieking underneath me like dolphins. That's not my husband. He's the strong, silent type. So I'm on top one time, as usual, and he's silent as a mouse, despite the fact we're having this great sex. And then he started getting soft. And I was like, hey, is everything cool? Did I do something wrong? And he was like, oh, I came. Like a while ago. And I was like, wow, you're nothing like my dad. I would say I'm not that crazy. I'm not that autistic. What I said was, oh, okay, awesome. That means I'm doing my part. You got yours, I got mine. That's great news. But just as a little favor to me, next time we do this, if you could just give me a little heads up, a little, communication, I'd appreciate. And he said, okay. So, next time we're going to get into it, it's this great sex. But he is not making any noise whatsoever until finally he just went, yes.